The good luck have funds have been sent. Now we are playing on circles by Link. Now no lower third for me this time around. I'm quite poorly prepared in terms of production. Really sorry about this. But yeah, we are underway right now for the knockout. 16 players starting out. Only one will survive at the end of this phase. Right now, everybody, we are being fairly within each other, with Link having a bit of a pace disadvantage over the first few corners, despite the fact that it is his own map. Tweening towards the rear end of the field alongside Cap and Yannick as we're heading towards the ice part in around 5 seconds time with a bit of a roof that blocks our view. Meanwhile, Massa, Bren, and Evon 1, 2, 3 looking pretty strong so far. The Polish driver from Team Secret at the present moment. Super Kalov at the tail end of the field. Let's actually check in on the 2006 World Champion as he takes over to the full speed section. Still hanging around in last place at the opening lap. Tween going underneath the ice patch to keep as much grip as possible on the sign wall ride. It seems to be, I don't know if it's that much faster, but so far it seems to be working for him. Meanwhile, towards the front, we got Massa Scrappy coming back into the fight for the lead with third place for now, and Moda in P3, Evon in P2. And Moda trying to take the challenge to Massa right now over the course of the identity. The second transfer down. Let's actually see if the Australian Penguin can make it and pull an overtake on Evon. Not quite. I mean, he's got a bit more speed. He's going to snipe him for second place at the line with 1 lap to go. Massa had the lead, but Moda with such a good in line at the ice part manages to take the lead once Massa completely flustered his entry into lap 1, and so he found himself down in P3 or P4. He's in P4 right now and potentially under menace of a fellow compatriot, not Riolu, but Grenady, who's currently battling with the Berlin International Gaming player to get that third position. Cap, meanwhile, looking to be in the midfield, looking good so far in this opening phase. Matt currently towards the rear end of the field alongside Yannick. I think he's in P14. P14, yeah, exactly for Matt. Yannick's in P15. It seems as though P16 we found Tialik at the present moment, as Evon has taken the lead of the race in front of Moda in P2, and Grenady managing to get P3 barely from Massa and Cap at the present moment, as we're heading towards the end of the lap at the moment, and Evon will win in front of Moda and Grenady in 1, 2, and 3. Let's actually see from the helicam who will finish last, and it seems as though it is indeed Yannick who finished last, or default. I'm gonna have to see. It is, oh no, it is Tialik. He finished way behind. I did not see Tialik come in, but yeah, Tialik is the first man eliminated for this one. I completely kind of messed up there. Sorry, Dan Simonson. Yeah. New round started right now. Round 2 out of 15 in this knockout section. The second round on circles, and yeah, we'll be playing each map for 3 rounds. Remember, Riolu and Mats first and second at the first 2 checkpoints, with Dofalt joining in the top 3. Tween as well, managing to get himself to get some really decent start right here at the start of this round. Dark and Yannick towards the back end of the field. Everybody remaining fairly grouped though, so all good. Oh, Yannick with a slow exit from the ice. He's down in last place, quite a way down compared to the rest of the field, with Moda currently in first place, battling out against the likes of Massa and Evon, as well as Riolu, to keep that first place afloat. Meanwhile, let's check in a little bit further behind with Super Karlov, the 2006 World Champion, looking to grab a few spots up in the field. Evon, Tween, Evon, Moda, and Massa 1, 2, and 3 at the moment. Carl looking pretty strong so far, looking pretty good. Cap in P4, Tween in P5, so our man is not doing too bad either, so yeah, looking pretty good so far. Moda with more speed than Massa, and Cap will move through to P2, but Evon will be the man crossing the start-finish line to start the final lap in the lead on this round, with Cap in P3 and Moda in P2, although Cap had a bit of a slow exit through there and will be getting overtaken by Moda. Evon managing to keep ahead of the Australian Penguin, but might not be for long. We're going to have to watch that out. And it seems that we had a mistake. Yeah, Yannick is way down, so he might be our second man eliminated here. Matt's ass will be saved, apparently, by the Swiss driver from Edelweiss Esports. It even disables me from actually following the battle of the group that's up front. Let's actually see where Tween is. So let's actually see if we can see the tag of Tween. I think I see it around P6. That's actually trying to switch between. Yeah, he's battling with Super Caliph, as a matter of fact. Carl in P4 and Tween in P5 at the present time, with a few corners to go, with the identity remaining to go through. Mudda has taken the lead away from Evon, Cap in 3rd, and Tween in P4. So Tween looking good in this round and even potentially getting himself a P3 finish. We're gonna have to see how this goes over the 2 transfers. First transfer, really low line from Tween, and Cap looking really good. A bit higher for Carl, allowing Grenady, Super Cal, allowing Grenady, Scrappy, and ooh, what happened to Scrappy? Did the Belgian falter? I think he did. Evon and Mudda 1 and 2. Tween in P3, Cap 4th, Grenady, Dark, Riolu, and Massa complete your top 8. But yeah, Scrappy has faltered at the identity. I did not see wrong. And so Scrappy will still be able to reach the finish line and remain himself in the retain himself in the knockout with Yannick's out of round number 2. Hello Mayhem, hope you're doing good. Mayhem, sorry. Hope you're doing well. Third and final round on Circles by Link. We're currently down to 14 players after the early casualties that are Tjalik and Yannick's. Tjalik went out in the first round, Yannick's went out on round 2, and Bren has made a horrendous mistake already at the beginning of the map. So right now he's in last place and might be one to look out for if he gets knocked out on round 3. So let's actually get ourselves back towards the field with Matt currently sitting in P10. Currently looking to get himself a few other spots on the board, trying to get into the top 10 right now. Massa, meanwhile, towards the battle for the top 5, playing alongside Link, Tween, and Riolu, with Dark, Mudda, and Evon ahead of him. As we're heading to the identity right now with the Berlin International Gaming player, Mr. 305. Will try to get himself a little bit of pace, although his landing into the first circle was really sketchy and dropped a bit of speed as from what I was able to see. So yeah, not the exact ideal entry to the identity. Meanwhile, Mudda and Evon battling for the lead, and the Australian Penguin will get himself in the lead after lap 1 with Evon in hot pursuit. Masta up to P3 now through the ice with Cap in hot pursuit in P4, and Tween in 5th place, looking pretty good right now for our player from the Pittsburgh Knights, Marek Paka from Slovakia, looking pretty decent indeed. And meanwhile, Bren is looking like he will be the last player on this round after his early mistake. Really sorry for my mouth sounding weird. It's because of the pin reliever that I have that is basically a sucker. But anyway, now up with Default, trying to overtake Link for P10, but not really looking to make any progress so far. Meanwhile, Carl had a really sluggish exit from the turnover section, and he drops way down. He's down in P12, P10 actually, as a result of that mistake, but it should still be enough to go through to the next round. Meanwhile, Mudda has pulled away from Evon, with Tween, Cap, and Massa through 4th and 5th, battling really hotly for 3rd, with the identity coming up. Riolu in P6. Grenady coming up to take the challenge to Riolu. Riolu going high, trying to go for more speed on the downwards curve. Mudda and Evon will win 1-2. Then Cap in P3, and Tween getting overtaken. No, managing to stay ahead of Massa by 1/100th of a second. And who actually finished last? Let's see. I think it is indeed Bren. So yeah, Bren, the Kameto Corps player's season is going from bad to worse, to even worse to worse. Not the most auspicious of starts for his combined chances, and if he is to actually get himself a another spot in the Grand League season, the next Grand League season, then it is definitely not the way that this should have started for the Frenchman. So moving on to map 2, which is going to be Keyless Halfpipe, where we can see some big yeets over the jumps in the transfers and trying to get some real Tony Hawk edges, getting through to the identity and trying to gain a lot of time if you manage to pull it off. Finger takes too long. We're underway with map 2. Sorry, Mobile. I'll try to explain it to you after the KO is done. Anyways, we're underway with the second map of this knockout stage, which is Keyless Halfpipe map played from step 1 through 3, and also in the final. Meanwhile, Default has made an early mistake at the bump road section, and he finds himself down in last. And Matt has respawned, so Matt might be dead already right now. Thank you, Mayhem, for the resub, by the way. Really appreciate it. Default is really far down. Tween, what happened to him? No, Marek. What the hell? Oh no. Is it going to be the PTSD from step 1 again? Oh shoot. Tween is not looking good. He's 2.7 seconds down on Matt, who's made a mistake before. But, yeah, definitely not looking good. Definitely not looking good. Oh my goodness, Tween. What are you doing, mate? Let's hope you can catch back up towards the rest of the field. Let's actually check in with the Calican to see where the others are. The others are going towards the identity with Scrappy coming into the lead at the present moment. Let's actually check go with the lead drivers, Scrappy, Moda, and Super Karlouf. Super Karlouf having a bit of sluggish entry to the identity. Meanwhile, Moda has had a super speedy identity coming in there, very similar to Papu in the playoffs, and he takes the lead from Scrappy. Heading into the final lap of this opening round. Let's actually check it back in on Twin to see where he is at the moment. He can see Matt at the present moment. You can see Matt up ahead, but it's still around 2.9 seconds behind where he should be. So definitely not where he wants to be if he is to get some good points in the combine right now. So let's go towards the front end of the battle with Scrappy, Mutta, and Carl. 1, 2, 3, with Ryulu overtaking Carl for 3rd, and Masa trying to challenge for 4th place even, and maybe even for 3rd place if there is a mistake from his fellow compatriot Ryulu. But Carl does not really see it that way, as he continues to play ball with the to do a battle with Masa and Ryulu to keep a 3rd place on the ropes. Masa up into P3, Scrappy in 1st place, and oh, both fails from Masa, and Scrappy move Carl up to P2, and Mata up into the lead with the identity coming up. Ryulu in 3rd place, Grenady in P4, and Dark in P5. Default a bit far behind. Mata is really nicely placed here, and apparently Masa has done a really huge emphasis of himself with his identity, with this mistake at the double dip jump. Mata will win in front of Carl, Grenady, and Ryulu, who will resist the cap with Dark and Scrappy in P7, and Twin should be safe. Evan has made a mistake, but yeah, he should be safe as well. Matt should be safe, so Masa will be unexpectedly knocked out in 13th position. Masa with that huge stoppik as he failed to clear the 2nd dip jump. Masa is out of the knockout phase, while Tween, who for which the start looked really rocky, has managed to survive. Sorry. Oh my god. Ryulu taking the lead of the race, although Mata has another say about that before the bump road section, and it seems like, oh, Scrappy going a bit wide, managing to keep with the others. No, he gets a little bit left behind. Dark had to respawn, and Max as well, so that might be already 2 dead right now going on in this round. Let's actually check in on our man Tween right now. I should pay more attention to what he's doing. Link has completely missed up the reception of the jump. Let's hope that he was not forced to respawn through there. Tween currently in the thick of it around P6, and you can see the battle for the top 5 ahead of him. Mutta having a slow landing into the dirt, and that allows Tween to move through temporarily to the lead, although Mutta retakes the lead really briefly after that. First jump right here, 2nd dip, let's go, and he manages to clear it, Tween, beautifully. Evan, Mutta, and Ryulu 1, 2, 3, then Carl in P4, and Tween in P5 currently fending off the attacks of Cap, currently sitting in P6, and Scrappy coming out of nowhere, trying to potentially get himself in P5. He does so at the next checkpoint at the expense of Tween, and Tween gets overtaken by Cap and Grenady before the identity comes up, and Dofol could potentially get himself another place up the ropes. Mutta and Ryulu battling through the identity. Mutta having a really cool going through there, and much more entry speed, but Ryulu also has that way, and so Ryulu will enter the final lap of this round into the lead of the race with Mutta in P2, Scrappy, Default, Evan, Super Karlouf, and Cap will be your top 7, and Tween currently sitting in the top 10. Grenady in P8, the wheel player currently doing strongly so far. Currently spectating the point of view for Marek, our man from the Pittsburgh Knights, looking to keep his place in the Grand League next season. Currently going around safely and trying to get himself to the end without any big hitch, as he knows that he's well into the top 12 needed to keep on fighting in this knockout session, and he doesn't need really to overly push too hard here, and he manages to clear it safely as the rest of the competitors have made it as well. Meanwhile, Ryulu and Mudda, first and second, Burim managing to get some really decent speed through there and managing to potentially get a round win. Let's actually see how this goes for the match for Northern DMB against the Australian Penguin. Identity coming up, Mudda going for the super aggressive low line. Oh, the payoff! It feels like Papu in the playoffs all over again, and he overtakes Ryulu, who gets even overtaken by Evon, and now Mudda wins in front of Evon and Ryulu 1-2-3. Chapel finishing P7, Grenady P8, Tween finishing in P9, and a respawn from Matt. Matt is your next casualty in this knockout phase, finishing in 12th position. So, third and final round, playing right now on Halfpipe by Kisla. 12 players remaining. At the end of this round, there will be only 11 players remaining in the knockout phase, with the next one set to be unveiled a little bit later. Or actually, do I have the map order? I think I do have the final map order. Yeah. Next one will be Semi-Ramis by Table and Firestorm. Right now following Super Cardouf, currently battling for P5 alongside Evon and Ryulu. And the lead is really battling super close in the top 3 between Mudda, Dark, and Cap. Although Mudda and Dark are making a break for freedom compared to the rest of the runners, and currently looking pretty good. And Tween making very good, but no, Cap! Cap! Pas comme ça, pas après tout ce que t'as fait! C'est pas possible! Oh my god, Cap with a mistake at the landing before the dirt. The CP was right there! And it is completely gone for Cap. Unless another player makes a mistake, it will be game over for the KWK eSport driver from France, the former Grand League player looking to come back. It has not started in the most beneficiary of auspices for the French driver on this knockout map. The identity, here we go. Tween, super speed going through there, coming back up to P3 and battling with Link for P2. Although Super Carlouf also had some pretty decent speed. Tween battling for P5 alongside Evon and Grenady, who's looking pretty strong as well. Scrappy having touched a little bit over the hill, so he dropped a little bit of speed. Mudda, meanwhile, has pulled clear in the lead with Link up into second position, looking pretty good. You know you messed up when the caster's suddenly talking to you in the mother language. I mean, I think it's fair game to talk shit about French drivers when they fail. I mean, that's a bit of a French thing, to be fair. And you can see Cap is well and truly behind on the rest of the pack. So yeah, it might be all over unless someone else makes a mistake in later parts of the track. Let's actually come back in with Ryulu, currently sitting in P9. Be careful what you say, Mopu. And no big mistakes from the top 9, top 10, so everything is good. Everything is looking good. And so far, Mudda looking pretty sweet on pace. Tween finish around P7, P9 right now, battling with Evon for, actually battling for P6 with Evon, as a matter of fact. Oh, super nice line compared to Evon, although Evon managed to keep it together. The execution was maybe a little bit off for Tween, as he will finish in P9. Yeah, P8 actually. Tween in the top 8, Mudda winning the round, and unsurprisingly after that mistake early on, Cap gets knocked out in place 11. Okay, we're moving on to map 3 then, which is going to be, I think I said it was Semi-Ramis. Yeah, it is indeed Semi-Ramis by Table and Firestorm. Just a tiny bit of warm-up for allowing everybody to join. Good that he can't speak Slovak. Yeah, I'm limited to 3 languages. Is French, English, and rusty German. I'll say that. Rusty Hochdeutsch. Hey, Salty Kaspa, hope you're doing good. Hey, Stormin, and yeah, hello to everyone who joined the stream. So, we're heading onto map 3. There are 2 other maps after this, 3 more rounds. Grenady also consistently in the middle of the play field so far. Yeah, maybe that will come. Maybe his demise will come. What about Australian and American? Technical. I mean, I'm American sounding. I don't sound posh. I don't sound like fancy. I sound like basic, generic American accent. But anyway, we're underway with round 7 of this knockout phase. We, no, not round 7. Yeah, round 7? Is it round 7? Yeah, I think it's round 7. Yeah. 10 players entered. There will be 9 at the end of this round. And Carl Louf, Super Carl Louf, the 2006 world champion, currently at the bottom of the field alongside Ryolu at the start of the hostilities. Scrappy and Tween battling for the lead alongside Dark though, so looking pretty good for our man right now, for Marek. Let's actually see how this goes over the jump. We saw so many, saw many fails over the course of the season and the playoffs occur on this particular sequence of corners. Now we're heading back to the player following preview with Grenady, the wheel player from Germany, taking the lead of the round, battling against Scrappy and Tween. You got the holy trinity of input methods: keyboard, gamepad, and steering wheel, ladies and gentlemen. This is right, a steering wheel player is in the midst of them and tries to make his big breakthrough as we're heading towards the final lap of this early round, with Mutta coming back into the frame, with Scrappy taking the lead at the start of the final lap of this round. Evon also getting himself a little bit further into the battle for top 8, and Dark has made a huge mistake, as did Link, although Link has Dark behind him, so he should be safe if everything goes well for him. Carl taking the lead. You can see the battle for tops. You can see the battle for top 8 is looking super close at the present moment. Let's actually go back in on the perspective of Strappy, who was leading, and now he's down in P7. All the position changes are looking to be super duper fast in terms of the rate that they happen. Meanwhile, Grenady and Tween battling for the lead, with Carl and Mutta battling for 3rd position at the present moment. Coming up to the identity for the final time in this round. Jump towards the left, coming up first. Grenady going for a bit of a wider line, Tween a bit more aggressive line. Super Kaluf having his own line as well, and Carl taking the lead of the race right now with just 1 corner to go and 1 fall to go. Mutta also coming back in the frame. Grenady and Super Kaluf, and Carl will win the round ahead of Grenady, Mutta, and Tween 3rd and 4th. Scrappy, Dofalt, Evon, and Ryolu will finish in the top 8. And unfortunately for Dark, it will be the end of his adventure as he gets knocked out in 10th position. OGL 1, 2, 3, yeah, you're right to point that out. Although we weren't exactly expecting the positions of the those players to be in the positions where they were in the end of the season. But anyway, Dark exit in P10. Right now, 9 players remaining, and this is where the going will start to get really tough for even some of the best players out there. Let's actually see Mutta at the tail end of the field after the start of the round. Let's actually see how this goes over the next section with the platform and the jump coming up. Dofalt, Evon, and Scrappy 1, 2, 3, with Carl and Link in the top 5 as well. Tween well into the top 5. Ryolu being left a little bit behind. Dofalt having had a pretty slow exit compared to the rest of the field, so he drops down to P8. And currently it is Burim who is currently in danger of finishing in last place. Let's actually check in on the perspective from the team, the Nordovan DMV player from Germany at the present moment. Identity coming up right now. OGL is looking strong in the season, yeah. Link having a bit of a sluggish landing, and he falters at the 2nd jump, so that will be coming to the rescue of Ryolu, who moves up into P8, Link down to P9, so that will be pretty devastating for the Team Exalti player from France to be down that order. Evon starts the final lap in the lead in front of Mutta and Scrappy. Tween in P4 battling with Carl and Dofalt. Then we got Grenady and Ryolu, and unfortunately for Link, it's down in P9 for now, so not looking all that good after all. Mutta and Evon neck and neck right now, as you can see further up ahead from the perspective of Dofal from Belgium. Evon battling nip and tuck with Mutta to take the lead away from the Australian player from Aurora Racing in full speed. But that small mistake from the pole, barely touching the wall, or having to release a little bit, allows Mutta to move through to the lead. Now Scrappy rises to the challenge and tries to wrestle the lead away from Mutta, and it looks like it's paying off with Scrappy taking the lead after that wide dirt patch from Mutta in the previous CPs. Although that landing from Scrappy was super slow. Identity coming up. Carl having a pretty decent line as well. Oh, that landing from Smada was all but clean. Oh, Ivan touching the outside, so Ivan will be out maybe. Carl will win another round again with Mudda finishing in second place, Scrappy in P3. And Evon will be able to go through the finish line when Link is way too far. He will not be able to finish, and Link is out of the knockout. We're down to 8 players already. We got half the field left to go and 7 rounds left to go. Third and final round on Semiramis by Table and Fireman Storm. Round 9 of this knockout phase. Grenady going a bit wide in this dirt corner, trying to get as much momentum as he can, and he will be able to take the lead, potentially away from Evon. Not quite. Still a really tightly knit group for the top 8. You can see that the going is needing to get really, really tough now. Evon making a break for freedom, trying to break free of the rest of the pack, but it's not really working out that well. Gritty having forced to release before the jump, and even Ryulu is catching back up to him, so now it could potentially be an inter-German battle for the last remaining position in the knockout, which is in this case is 7th place. Let's actually check in on Ryulu, currently at the last place possible, where nobody wants to be, currently sitting in P8. Carl having a slow entry to the identity. Let's actually see if there are any mistakes from other players. So far, looking good. Let's actually check in on Tween, though, who might be having a mistake. He's had a pretty slow identity. Let's say that. He's down in P8 right now, so he would still get a few points on the... He would still get, well, 8 points on the board for finishing in P8, but definitely not what he wants to reach. He wants to be a bit further up and get a few more points on the board eventually. So we'll have to see how he manages to catch back up to his fellow competitors and see how he is... and see how he fares. P7, what happened? Is there someone else who died? Eh? Hello? P7? Hold on. Hold up. Evon is dead! I thought Tween was in P8, but no! It is indeed Evon who has made a huge mistake, and the Polish player from Team Secret might be on the ropes. Scrappy, Grenady, Mudda, Default, and Ryulu, your top 5. Let's actually check in on the perspective of Ryulu for the identity. Again, it's a really super close battle up top. Let's actually flip the perspective to that of Mudda. Currently sitting in P4, and seems as though Grenady might have this under the bag. And Grenady will win ahead of Scrappy, Default, and Mudda. And yeah, Evon is way far down, so Ryulu 5th, Super Kalu 6th, Tween in P7, and unfortunately for... Unfortunately for Evon, it will be last place in P8. Chat cleaned up. Hope everything's good. So yeah, we're down to 7. We're down to 7 players now. We got 2 maps left. The next map is going to be, let me check the map order. It is going to be Bumpy Jumpy by Tona. So we might see some Yep trees coming in at the identity and even at the final jump before the finish line. So yeah, be prepared. So we're doing another restart to wait for other people. Bumpy Jumpy, yeah. So we're just waiting for everyone to join with the warm-up coming up. Pretty interesting track layout this, I have to say. Bumpy Jumpy looks fine. It just might not be fine to run, but it looks fine on paper. Looks fine from an aerial viewpoint. Anyways, people who are left in the knockout after 3 maps played. Mudda, Default, Scrappy, Carl, Grenady, Ryulu, and Tween are left. At the end of this map, only 4 players will remain as we're starting already on Bumpy Jumpy by Tona. Bit of an aerial cam coming up to the Ice Bowl section. Grenady taking the lead after the first checkpoint. Mutta and Riolu second and third. Scrappy and SuperCal fourth and fifth. Default and Tween in 6 and 7. This is where the going might be getting a little bit tough for Tween right now. So we might not expect maybe him to reach a little bit further than P7 or P6 maybe. We're going to have to see how that goes over the reactor wall ride right now. It looks good. Checking in on the default from team. Oh, what happened? Did Carl manage to make it across? No, he did not manage to make it across. He's not in P7. He's not in last place. So, unfortunately, we got a pretty high-profile mistake right now from SuperCal that could cost him pretty dearly overall in the combined with the points that he's able to actually he gets through this through this knockout phase, coming through the identity right now for the first time in this map, in this round at least. Second jump. Oh no, Burim! Riolu! Oh my goodness, and he has another mistake again! Allowing Karn to move through the P6, heading into the final lap. Oh my goodness, Burim! Meanwhile, Tween looking pretty good. Looking better than I expected. Looking to be battling for P3 with Default and Mutta currently sitting in P5, whilst the battle for the lead is right now between Scrappy and Grenady. Let's actually check in if I can get Scrappy. Oh, I can get both Scrappy and Grenady. Great. So, chasing Scrappy, we got Grenady, the wheel player from Wavy Esport, all the way from Germany. K-Cup winner a little bit earlier in the year, towards the end of the month of August and the 1st of September, as a matter of fact. Tween in 4th place, looking pretty decent so far. As you can see on the bottom right-hand side of your screen, 1.1 second, 1.2 seconds down on the leader as he got overtaken by Mutta for P4. Well, who will do Yep 3 on the next lap? Well, I guess we're about to find out as we're moving to the identity now with the perspective of Mutta. Let's actually see how this goes from the 5th place driver. Sorry for the drop frames, by the way. This is not my fault. Second jump. Who will make a mistake? It seems as though everybody managing to make it through safe and sound through this part at least. Final corner coming up. Oh, everybody managing to go through safely. Scrappy, Grenady, Default, Tween, Mutta, SuperCal will make it through. And unfortunately for Riolu, it is P7 at the end of it, of this knockout phase for the German. Round 2 on Bumpy Jumpy Baitona. Round 11 of this knockout stage. 6 players remain, and the going is going to get only tougher from there on this map. Currently following SuperCal from France at the present moment. Let's actually see if we got a hotkey on Tween right now. Yes, we do! We have our boy! We got our boy right now on the hotkeys for the spectating right now. Tween taking the lead from Scrappy before the next checkpoint right here with the reactor boost coming up in a few seconds. Everything looking pretty good. Scrappy and Carl overtaking Tween before he dropped down on the dirt, but that's okay. He still looks to be in P6 at P5 at the present moment. P6 is currently held by Grenady, who is having a bit of trouble. Yeah, the Monka steers are out, ladies and gentlemen. The Monka steers are out. Also, after the knockout, I might be doing a bit of a stream restart because I forgot to change encoders. Duh. Anyways, Scrappy, Carl, 1-2. Tween and Mutta, 3rd and 4th. Everything looking to be pretty good within the same shot. First jump through, everybody safely. Second jump, Scrappy maybe a bit rocky. He's down in last place already. Third jump, everybody clearing it. Will anybody get a Yep 3? Nope, but Scrappy, with that slow landing at the final jump of the identity, gets himself in a pretty precarious position of finishing in P6, although Default had a pretty slow entry into the ice wall when allowing Scrappy to move through to P5, and now Default is not safe. A fellow Belgian can hide another one, and apparently it will be a battle between either Default or Scrappy to continue into the knockout phase. Checking in on Grenady at the present moment, being in P4 before the Snake Neo section right now. This is where we saw on the Twitter picture, on the Twitter video, Grenady would switch from wheel to keyboard to make it through the Neo, to actually get the Neo and pull it off perfectly. Meanwhile, Scrappy still looking to be safe in P5 right now, with Default a little bit further behind than he would like to be. 1.2 seconds behind his fellow compatriot as we're heading to the identity for the second time in this round. Let's actually see the perspective of the Belgian, Scrappy. First jump, everybody clearing it nicely. Second jump. Oh no, what happened to... Did someone actually touch the wall? No. Scrappy made a bit of a mistake, but Default will not be able to catch him back up. Tween will win the round, as a matter of fact. And for the Super Carlo, Grenady, Mutta, and Scrappy, whilst Default will be out. And we're down to the top 5. Default in P6, exactly. Now, 5 players remain. 5 players left to run the gauntlet. Who will survive? Only one way to find out. After the first checkpoint, it is Mutta and Scrappy in 1 and 2, Carl, Grenady, and Tween in that order in 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Battle for top, final for the lead now. It's a 3-man fight with Mutta coming back into the lead, coming back into the fray with the reactor boost coming up in about 5 seconds time. Let's actually check in on the perspective of Grenady. There you go. Currently sitting in P5. You can literally hear the gears turning whenever he makes a corner. A gear-driven force feedback racing wheel. He's using a Microsoft Sidewinder from 1998. Did I ever tell you? I mean, at least I'm assuming it's from 1998. I don't have the exact model, but yeah, apparently Super Carlo and Mutta having had a pretty slow free wheel part, and now they're finding themselves in 4th and 5th, and Carl not looking in a good position to keep his knockout dream alive at the present moment. Scrappy, Grenady, and Tween, 1, 2, 3, through the jumps. First jump, nicely cleared. Second jump, let's actually see, nicely cleared as well, although Carl was really a bit too close to the pole. Oh, Tween with a pretty sluggish landing. Will he be able to clear the final jump? Yes, he's down in P4 though, and getting reeled in by Super Carlo, so he has to be careful here. Tween currently sitting in P4, so looking to still stay in the fight, but only just. Scrappy taking a bit on the inside. That was going to ease up the burden on the Tween's shoulders at the moment, and Scrappy down in P5 as Super Carlo overtakes him. And now this could be a 3-man fight for the last few places in the knockout right now. There's 4 players only that can continue at this point. Mutta and Grenady are battling for the lead right now, which is pretty insane between the 2 OGL players who are looking to be on fire. Scrappy clipping a little bit, it seems like, dropping in down to P5, but look at this. 2 Grand League players versus 1 Open Grand League player, which is pretty insane. Look at the line from Tween, though. Managing to keep over 160 kilometers an hour of tops of speed going through the checkpoint, and he moves through to P3 as we're heading through the identity from the perspective of Scrappy. Oh, did Tween slow down a little bit? Let's actually see how this goes. Over the final 4 jumps. First jump done on the identity, nicely cleared. Second jump, nicely cleared as well. Tween will be able to potentially retain 3rd place or maybe 4th. Oh, Tween, come on! And he will be through. Grenady wins in front of Mutta, Scrappy, Tween, and Carl has made a mistake late. And so he gets out in 5th position. With 1 map left to run, your top 4 will be Grenady, Mutta, Scrappy, and Tween. Super Carlo will be knocked out on the final round of Bumpy Jumpy, with the final round map coming up, which is going to be Paradise by Table. Good round indeed. Pretty close race all the way up until the end. Moncastir in Paradise, yeah, be prepared to see quite the shenanigans happening on this ice maps. The final 4 are as follows. You can see all of them on screen. Scrappy, Tween, Mutta, and Grenady. Wavy Esports versus Lazarus Esports versus the Pittsburgh Knights versus, well, no team. No mistakes are allowed. Absolutely no room for mistakes here on Paradise. A single mess up even in the free wheel part before the identity, and you might be completely done with. In any part in this map, pretty much, there is absolutely no room for error. As we're getting underway with round number 13 of this knockout session. 4 players enter, but who will be the last man standing? Only this map can judge. Scrappy getting the whole shot at the first checkpoint in front of Mutta, Grenady, and Tween in that order. Heading into the dirt, so far so good. Mutta maybe a little bit further behind than he would like to be, still within the lead group at the present moment, with the jump coming up in a few seconds right now. Scrappy, Mutta 1 and 2, Grenady and Tween 3rd and 4th, Will anyone touch the outside? Nope, nobody touches the outside. Everybody managing to clear the second jump as well. So you can see the level is starting to get extremely high on this particular map right now. Scrappy and Mudda still battling for P2. Advantage of the Belgian with Tween and Grenady having Grenady feeling Tween pulling away at the present moment. Grenady not able to keep up with the pace of the top three guys at the present moment right now. Let's actually check in on the perspective of the German right now from Team Wavy Esports. Yeah, 0.3 of a second between himself, around 0.3 of a second between himself and the top 3 place needed for safety. But this is only lap 1. Anything can happen in TrackMania, and usually does. We'll have to see how this goes in the identity right now. Who will go for this? Who will go for this Binala, and who will go for the Highline? Everybody will go for the Highline. No Binala. No Binala. And Grenady, having a really sluggish exit from the identity, will feel that, and he's down 6/10 away from Tween in 3rd place. Tween manages to get a really good first ice drop though, so he manages to catch at least a little bit of time to the top 2 ahead. Although that advantage has somewhat dwindled compared to, as to what he was potentially expecting, but still enough to keep him safe from Grenady in 4th position. Let's actually see the jump right now. Will anybody make a mistake through here? No, everybody managing to clear it off the to clear the jump pretty nicely. Onto the negative camber dirt corner. Will anybody clip at the outside? No, everybody managing to go through safely. Albeit Grenady, albeit a little bit slower than the rest of his fellow competitors. Mudda pulling away from Scrappy. Scrappy falling back into the clutches of Tween. So Tween might be in with a shot of actually finishing in P2, at least on this round, and continue onto the final 3. Get a podium spot on the KO rounds right now, which is definitely a good boon to his TMGL's fight right now. Mudda and Scrappy. Scrappy less speed than Tween through the free wheel section, so Tween is up into P2 and even taking the challenge to Mudda for the lead right now. Let's actually see the perspective of Scrappy here for this identity right now. Everybody going high, then duck low. Will Scrappy have a drop problem? No. Everybody managing to clear it pretty much safely. Will Grenady be able to come back at the Scrappy? Not quite. Mudda will win in first. Oh, Scrappy has failed! Scrappy completely butchered the exit. Tween in P2, Grenady on the podium, and Scrappy getting the transition completely wrong is knocked out in 4th. This is your podium. But the order of this one, though, still up for grabs. Still 2 rounds to go with this. The first one coming up right now. Tween, Grenady, and Mudda. 1, 2, 3. After the first checkpoints. It might turn into a horse race at this point if everything keeps super close. So it might be starting to start the rap god again at one point or another in this particular day of the combine with the knockout right now. Mudda, Tween, and Grenady. 1, 2, 3. Tween taking the lead from Mudda after the drop down. Negative camber turn coming up. Mudda taking the lead with Grenady, finding off with Tween for P2 right now. With the U-turn coming up. Grenady, the big surprise indeed with this wheel. I wonder how sore his arm is after. I wonder how sore his arm will be after the combine. Sorry, he must be. His arm must be completely dead. Let's actually follow Tween down in P3 right now as Grenady overtook him before the turnover for P2. So Grenady looking really strong out there. The 2 OGL players, Mudda and Grenady, looking super strong. Let's actually see if the identity is able to actually gain any time compared to his fellow competitors. Go high, dive low. Let's actually see if he's able to clear it. Yeah, but super slow exit from the first one. And that will see the gap grow between Tween and the leader to over a second compared to Mudda. Mudda 1.6 seconds up on Grenady, and Grenady is super close. He is relatively close. He's less than 0.3 away. Now 0.4 away from Mudda in P1. The level of OGLs of this season is unheard of. Yeah, it is very, very high level. It is super stacked. Meanwhile, Mudda, Grenady, and Tween. Tween is now 2 seconds down on Mudda. Pretty similar last season. I don't say so. Yeah, it was pretty strong, but that's because we had Gwen. I mean, you can't face against Gwen. We had Gwen and Alfie and Yonix, and the rest, whilst they were super good competitors, they could not really compare to these 3. So yeah. Meanwhile, Tween might be feeling like 3rd place might be it, so he's gonna be even finishing the round and getting eliminated, sure, but still a decent haul of points. That's 14 points for a third place finish, remember, in any particular stage. So still a decent haul of points right here. Mutta and Grenady first and second. Will Grenady manage to keep it? Yeah, over 200 kilometers an hour of speed over the free wheel. Tweens seem to have touched a little bit, so the gap has widened quite a bit compared to Grenady. The identity coming up for the top two players, Mutta and Grenady first and second. And it seems as though the order will stay that way. And it will indeed, with Mutta winning the race with a 250.504, Grenady second, and Tween, valiant effort, will get a podium spot in 14th points. Clap it up for Tween, our man from the Pittsburgh Knights, Marek Paka, third place in the KO phase. Now, it's a full OGL 1v1. Mutta versus Grenady. Gamepad versus Wheel. Europe versus Oceania. Germany versus Australia. Here we go. At the start of this round, Mutta has taken the lead over the German player from Wavy Esport, although Grenady goes a bit aggressive on the jump, not able to actually recoup some of that gap at the exit of the second jump. Negative camber turn. It seems as though Mutta has got really the upper hand compared to Grenady, at least on this very track, and he will be in a strong position to secure that KO win right now. Coming up to the turnover right now. Looking pretty good for Mutta still. Around 2/10 ahead of Grenady, although he tries to catch him back up before the free wheel. Let's actually see how this goes. 207, 206. The speeds are somewhat similar right now. So everything could still be either way. We're coming to the end of lap 1 and the identity coming up right now. High, duck low. Will anyone fall by the wayside? Ooh, Mutta with the exit that was super close to hitting the polar, the pillar of the CP, and everything is still super close. Look at Grenady with that super exit from the second part. He's still within a 10th. He might even take the lead before the checkpoint. Not quite, but still, look at this. This is looking super, super close right now between the two OGL players. One finished first at the end of the season, and the other one qualified on the dot at the final round. So, yeah. Can show that anything can go, and that Grenady is indeed a worthy contender. Some of the people might have doubted Grenady's abilities, but no, he is indeed a worthy contender, despite maybe the difference of pace between Wheel and Mutta, between Wheel and Gamepad, which, to be fair, is non-existent when you have a player like this, man. Going back to follow Grenady for a bit here for the final lap of this race. Mutta coming up to the free wheel section, as is Grenady. He touches the inside! What happened to Mutta? He touched a bit! Grenady passing him for the lead with identity left! Mutta, who had this under control, might be faltering at the end. Grenady might be having this on a silver plate. Identity coming up, first one coming up. Grenady will be able to clear it. Mutta as well, but Mutta is down in P2. Grenady, just one turn left. He's too far! He falters! And Mutta, through the failure of Grenady, wins the knockouts. Grenady will get 15 points, but that is so devastating for the German, who has seen the opportunity to win. And that opportunity just got whisked away as he full stop-picked into the pillar of the multi-lap block at the exit when the tires lacked grip. Massa flashbacks indeed. And Mutta will be your grand winner of the knockout phase. Grenady in P2 and Tween in P3. So Tween still collecting 14 valuable points in the knockout phase. So